Hey guys, I'm here today to do my February wrap-up. I read 5 books in February, so I'm just going to jump in and tell you all about them. So first I read the book Bunheads by Sophie Flack. This is about a girl who is in a ballerina company. She's 19 and she's not like a lead ballerina, she's just one of the side dancers, but she's been doing it since she was really little. It was always her passion. And when she was a really young girl, she got to move to New York to be a part of this company. And so all her life, all she's really known is ballet, and she's just trying to be a better dancer and be the best. And it's just about her and her life in it and her friends who are also ballerinas. And she meets a boy one day who has, nothing to do with the ballerina scene. He's just a guy. And it kind of goes from there that she chooses between him and being a ballerina, basically. And I mean, it's not all that, but that is one of the main focuses on it. But it is a really good friendship story as well. I really liked the main character. I thought it was a really good ballerina book. It's probably one of the best ones I've ever read. I would totally read it again, and I really enjoyed it. And I picked up Roseblood by A.J. Howard. I got this in the January OwlCrate box, and this one was okay. I didn't hate it, didn't love it, type story. It's about a girl named Rune, and every time she sings, she gets really sick and drained, and her family kind of has this curse of how her father, it would happen to him and his grandmother and such before him. So her mom sends her to this school in France that is supposed to be the Phantom of the Opera's school, type thing. And it's supposed to teach her to not get sick from her curse and make it not a curse or whatever. And it was just okay. It was very, very rushed in the ending, so it built up to this cool story, and then the ending was just super rushed with it. And the font was red, which was really hard for me to focus on, which maybe it's not for you, but I need to read black font, I think. So I mean, 100 pages of this book, my brain was exploding because it was so hard to read the font. But I kind of got used to it after. But I guess all of her work, her font is different colors and not black, so that's very strange to me. But yeah, I almost had to pick it up on ebook to read it because it was very hard for my brain to read the red. Just so warning for you if you have that same problem. But, other than that, it was just an okay story. I'm not sure if it's one I would keep and reread. But I recommend it, I think, more than the Splintered series. But I only read the first one in that, so I can't be the best judge of it. Next, I picked up Fire and Stars. This is also an OwlCrate novel, and this is by Audrey Coulhurst. I got this in the December OwlCrate box. And this one is about a girl going to be married off to a different kingdom, for alliance in their kingdom, and she's engaged to this prince, to king-to-be, and slowly through the story she falls in love with his sister instead. And I thought it was a very good political romance story. Again though, the ending I think was pretty rushed and just kind of happened really quickly, but I mean, I liked it. Other than that, I don't think it was, people were saying it was boring because it was slow, but I enjoyed it. I didn't find it boring. I quickly read through this and I wanted to know what happened next. And people were saying the romance was the only positive part of the book, which I mean, I think it is, because the rest of it's just kind of a dark political story. So yeah, the romance is the only happy part of the book, but I was intrigued with the whole book and loved the romance aspect as well. So I would recommend it. I thought it was a really good book. I picked up The Midnight Star by Marie Lu. This is the last book in the Young Elites novel, and I flew through this book. I loved it, and then I was telling my friend about it after, and it was not good, but I still loved it at the same time because I'm obsessed with these characters. So I really think she should have wrote all of the books just as one long book. It should have been a 600-page book instead of 3 short books, because this one kind of was 300 pages and only 150 of the pages were important. And I kind of felt that way with the second book too. So I really think she should have just combined all the books into one big book. But, she made more money that we all had to buy every year, buy another, $20 book from her. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good conclusion to the story. I really did like it, but then when you talk about it, it's just the most ridiculous sounding plot. But I think if you love the characters, you'll love it. I don't know. I just love the characters, and I love the main character, and like I've read The Young Elites like 3 times, and so it's one of my favorite series, even though it is kind of silly. And finally this month I read Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is a book about a girl named Lily whose father dies and she moves away to Boston and opens up her own flower shop, and on the way she meets a new boy and then meets a boy from her past, and you know, it's kind of what comes from there. And actually, so trigger warning, this is a book about physical assault. One of the characters assaults the main character, and it happens with her father before her, and it was emotional for me. Like, it was a very emotional book, but actually at the end, apparently it's based on a true story of Colleen Hoover's life, and she writes about that at the end notes, and that made me cry so much because it's real, you know? And I mean, I know it happens all the time and it's horrible, but it's like, it was just so sad to like know that the author based it off like parts of her real life, and so that part's what was making me like cry so much. And I don't know, I think I actually like Colleen Hoover books, and I know she's really problematic and people don't really like her. I like half of her books, and so I really did like this one. I thought it was a good book, but I can see it's not a perfect book, and it's not for everyone, and it's not the best written book. She writes really bad male characters. They are all very, they get what they want. They're like, the girls are just for their entertainment type characters, and so all her boys in every series I feel are really bad guys, but I still love like the girls, and they're usually the main point of the story. So I loved like everything basically except the male characters, because they're all like just stupid. Just go with it with an open mind that all her books kind of deal with darker subjects and are not the happiest of stories, but overall I think I would still read it again. Yeah guys, that was my February wrap up. What are some books you read in February? Please let me know below so I can read more books, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!